The war over shaping man is about what do we want to shape, what do we want to get as a result, is a very important war. And it's the greatest weapon that we have. And each and every country nowadays isn't thinking about nuclear weapons, strategic weapons, all the destroyers and everything, and missiles. It's all primitive. Yeah, when will we ever use it? But today we have to use things differently. How do we turn public opinion in a hostile country to a state where it will become hostile against its own country? And in that we succeed. Against dictators and so on. Well, so today, ideological wars are the real wars, and we have to understand that this is actually what we have to direct our attention at, and to also see to what extent can we protect our public, suppose here in Israel, from being influenced by different external influences, and so on. I read that with the help of psychological warfare, it's possible to bring people in a certain country to work against their own interests, so much so that they stop listening to facts, that even if I tell them very rational things, they won't listen. We see it in Israel too, that a large public in Israel today is directed against the existence of the State of Israel and so on. Here in Israel, it's an existential war, that there are big forces in the world, and they're growing all the time, that if, suppose, 30 years ago, all of Europe was in favor of Israel, today you can say that all of Europe is against Israel. And if in the past it was the same with the United States, then today no. Today a large public, and most of the public in the United States is against Israel. And this is how it is in every nation. We're losing this war. Who's pulling the strings? These are big organizations, very powerful, rich, and smart organizations. We can say that there are elites that are directing of course, they're sending their children to study in universities. They pay these universities, like in the United States, for example. Universities exist due to donations. And this way you can buy their opinion. And today, you have no professors, you have no academic staff in the United States that's pro-Israel. Even if internally they do feel that way, no one will say it out loud, openly. And the same in Europe. And in parallel with that, in accordance with it, we see what's going on in the universities here in Israel.